Are you stuck at home in lockdown? Yeah, I know, we all are. Don't worry, we've got you covered because it's time once again for Live at Night with Pete Ferriero, where whatever happens, happens. Here's your host, Pete Ferriero.
They must be like the life of the party. You
Okay, here we are live at night, and we have Chef Leah Cohen with us here tonight, and she's going to be cooking and doing some fun stuff. Before we get into some of the cooking and all that, I got to ask you. I know we were just kind of talking about some of this off camera, but how is everything going for you with the quarantine, with your restaurants? I know you have a couple. I know you just opened a new one, so kind of walk me through some of what's been going on in your world.
I mean, I've been home this entire time. Both restaurants are closed right now. We're trying to figure out a reopening plan, but a lot of that has to do, I mean, there's just a lot of things up in the air right now. I tested positive on May 1st. I got my results back, or I went in for the test. So I'm going back probably tomorrow to get retested to see if I am still positive. But I mean, I knew I was sick. I'm actually shocked that I still tested positive because I don't have any symptoms anymore. I did lose my sense of smell and taste for like 20 days,
Wow.
which was not great. I mean, it was like a real 14 days and then progressed at like the last 6 or 7 days to get back to 100%, which is so weird because I mean, as a chef, it's like literally like my only thing that I like need to survive. I feel like I was just cooking for my husband and I was like, I hope it tastes good because like I don't really know. Like I know how to make food and I know how much salt to go and stuff and like whatever, just from like, you know, repetition and muscle memory and like whatever. But that was very odd. And so I mean,
Nobody has been through that. What is that like? What is that experience of how do you, so you have no sense of taste or whatever, and you're like, shit, I think I got this thing. What it like, and then what happens?
Well, I had been exposed to someone who tested positive. And then maybe like a week later, I had a sore throat and I thought it was like an earache because I actually need to go see a dentist because I needed a cavity to get filled, which obviously like that's not happening anytime soon.
Right.
So I thought, oh, maybe it's, you know, maybe it has something to do with my tooth because it was on one side of my like that my throat was bothering me.
Yeah.
And then that was it. It was gone. Like I was fine like 2 days later. And then maybe 5 days after that, I lost my sense of smell. So I didn't have like major symptoms. I never had a fever. I never had a cough. I had a sore throat for like 2 days, but the main thing was like the losing the smell and my taste. And it was just so weird because I was like, well, I don't even know what the point of eating is aside from like nourishment. So I didn't really eat that much because I was like, this sucks.
Probably the only time that Applebee's would taste good, right?
Right, probably. But in my head, I'd be like, this is Applebee's. I'm not eating this shit.
Right. Yeah. So you just opened a new restaurant, I think, before this had happened too, right near Madison Square Garden. Amazing space. Piggyback bar, right?
Piggyback, but not a bar. But
sorry.
Yeah, the other one was bar. It's okay.
Talk to me about that. Yeah.
We opened in January, and like literally off the jump, it was like bananas crazy, like super busy. My husband and I work together. He's front of the house, I'm back of the house. He's more operations. But I looked up at him. I was working the line like the first couple of weeks, trying to just like figure out the kitchen layout. Cause like in your mind, you know how a kitchen is going to work, but then, you know, once you go through service, then you obviously have to readjust and make tweaks and everything. So I was working the line, mind you, I hadn't worked the line in like, I don't know how long, probably like a year. Cause I was like pregnant and then had the baby and like whatever. And even before that, I wasn't like working the line every night. I was expo. Right. So I was like jumping right back into it and it was crazy. It was like really good and super busy. And I was like, wow, this is going to be amazing. And it was really busy for, you know, for January and February, and then March hit and it just got slower and slower and slower. And, you know, that's like, I guess everyone's story as far as the month of March in restaurants.
Sure. So what did you make? You had to make a decision, right? But you and your husband have to make a decision. What are we going to do at the restaurants? Where are you guys at this point?
I mean, so our partners in at the 30th Street they own the building. So and they're just great partners. I mean,
Yeah.
it hasn't been that long, but for the time that we've been working with them, it's been about a year because obviously through like the build out and everything, they've been great and they're in no rush for us to reopen. It doesn't make sense to do takeout and delivery over
Mhm.
there because we didn't have much of a presence there anyway, because we were so new
Yeah.
and to open at 25-50% capacity, it just for all of us it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
And then Pig and Cow is a little bit different because it'll be 8 years that we've been open. It does have a name,
Yes.
but for me, safety is the most important thing. And like I said, I tested positive 2 weeks ago.
Right.
My husband tested negative, but we're both going to get retested. So until I know that I can go, can work safely, I would never ask my staff to go into work if I didn't go into work. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Mhm.
I'm not gonna put anyone's life in danger. And so until I know that it's safe for me to go back to work, that's not really an option at the moment. So
Absolutely.
so that's kind of where we're at. I mean, we do plan on reopening both restaurants. It's not that we don't want to, but for me, like I said, like safety is the most important thing right now. And a lot of people have to take public transportation to get to work, and I just don't know, and it's on them to be smart and safe, wear gloves, wear masks, all
Yeah.
that stuff. And I don't know, I just don't feel comfortable yet asking people are they willing
To come back.
to come back, and quite frankly, a lot of people are making more money on unemployment and staying safe
That's the
by
thing
being at
too.
home.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I get that, and I would never want, also, if you ask someone to come back and they say no, then
Right.
that puts their unemployment at risk
Right. There's
as
a lot
well.
of
So
layers
it's a
to
lot
this.
of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for right now, I watch Cuomo's daily briefings.
Nice.
I am
Yeah.
a big supporter of Cuomo.
Same. Me
I
too.
I really didn't give a shit about him before this whole thing,
Didn't
but
even know he
I
existed. Yeah.
didn't know he existed.
Yeah.
Actually, my husband asked me what I wanted for Mother's Day, and I wanted a shirt that says "homosexual" because
Oh, I
I
love
fucking
that.
love him. So he ordered that for me.
No, oh, it exists. It already exists.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
Etsy. It's on
Nice. Yeah.
Etsy. But I think he's being smart. I think he is, making his decisions based off of scientific facts. And I think, unfortunately, we're in a difficult position, as a business owner. It's like you're putting people at risk, but you're also, people aren't getting paid. And I mean, I'm not making any money right now.
No, it's
I
awful.
can't collect unemployment.
Right.
So it sucks for me too. It's not, and I feel everyone's pain, but at the end of the day, like I don't want anyone to get sick on my account. I
Yeah,
just don't.
absolutely. So when
Yeah.
do you think, I mean, we'll get into cooking right now, but when do you think
Yeah.
your Pig and Cow will be back open? I assume that one opens before the other?
That one will be open before. That will be a test run of how, I mean, we have a lot of things that we have to figure out. We're obviously going to have to switch the menu up and make it more takeout and delivery friendly, and probably make it less prep intensive, because just payroll costs and just we got to cut our costs.
Yeah.
So I really don't have a time frame right now, I'm waiting to see. There's a lot of like things that are up in the air, but first and foremost, I can't, I got to wait and come back negative from a
Yeah.
test.
More so than
So,
anything else.
yeah, that's the biggest thing that I'm waiting on. So, and I think you have to, technically you should wait, you should get tested twice, negative twice before you can, from the research I've done, but who
Yeah.
knows? I mean,
Well, yeah.
everything is changing.
And then the other thing too, there could be just like a crazy second wave of this whole thing. So, it's you're
Yeah.
probably being better safe than sorry. All right. So what do you have for us here? What are you
Okay.
cooking up?
I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys can you see
Yeah,
what
and I
I
can
have?
actually,
Or
if you talk, I can probably put this even. Oh, well, no, it has to be on you. It will be on you when you talk. But yeah.
okay. So I'm making Thai food today. one of my favorite cuisines. So I have a fried chicken that I've actually never made this before. I just marinate it in some curry paste with some coconut milk, fish sauce, and sugar. And then I coated it in flour, AP flour, rice flour, cornstarch, and then I par fried it at 300 degrees. So this I'm going to now fry again at a higher temperature to cook all the way through and to get it really nice crispy. I do have a deep fryer at my house.
Of course you do.
It is a tabletop fryer, Cuisinart, $100 on Amazon. It is an excellent purchase for anyone who likes to cook and fry at home. Cuisinart did not pay me for that. And then, although if they want to, negotiate later, we can work something out. But no, their fryer is amazing. And then I have a papaya salad. I shredded the papaya. This is it's like the white version papaya salad, like
Right.
like Thai salad. So usually some people put like fermented crab and like raw crab and stuff in theirs. I don't have that. And sometimes I like it and sometimes I don't. But this is just like very generic papaya salad. Peanuts, long beans, tomatoes, dried shrimp, and then I have a mortar and pestle here with garlic, Thai chilies. I'm going to pound that with some fish sauce, some palm sugar, and lime juice, and then just kind of put it all together. Traditionally, you have like a big clay mortar and pestle, and then you kind of mash everything together to kind of like marinate it and bruise it. That is at my restaurant. All my equipment, all my fun like gadgets and stuff are at my restaurant. So this I'll just like massage with my hand. And I have literally like the smallest mortar and pestle at home,
Right.
which is not Thai. Excuse me, I just burped from my White Claw.
That's okay. Yeah. What are you drinking anyway? So cheers to quarantine, right? Here you go. I've got an
quarantine drinking. I have a White Claw. I was telling you this, like I literally found out about a White Claw like a week ago. I have no idea how I missed that whole thing last summer because I was pregnant, and my husband's like, yeah, you were pregnant, but like you weren't like off the grid, like you had access to social media. Like, how did you just like miss that whole thing? I'm like, dude, I have no idea.
Exactly.
Like,
what's yours?
I have no idea, but it's good. I mean, I had a watermelon one yesterday. I like it.
Yeah, my wife's a big fan too. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I'm gonna make the sauce or the dressing, I guess. So I'm just gonna start by pounding the garlic. So yeah, like I said, traditionally you have like a big clay pot and you just throw everything in there. Like you pound the tomatoes and you pound the papaya. But I don't have that here. I know exactly where it is at the restaurant on 30th Street. But
Right. Not going to help you here. Yeah.
But it's not helping me here at all. So, but yeah. One time, when I was in Thailand, I was making a curry paste by hand. And I was pounding the curry paste and the chili seeds just like literally like flew up in my eye. And so every time I like pound chilies in a mortar and pestle, I'm like a little scared about it because like it was terrible. It was like the worst pain that I've ever felt.
Do you have a favorite chili?
Like a fresh chili or I do like fresh red Thai chilies. I think they're very they pack a lot of heat in such a small, like they're just like really tough.
Yeah.
Tough, spicy little guys.
I love that.
And they stay in your refrigerator for a long time. And I also, I do love me some jalapenos.
All the time. Yeah.
I do love some jalapenos, and I have a jar of a can of pickled jalapenos in my cabinet, like literally on hand all the time. So that's really good.
I was reading, you worked for David Burke coming out of culinary school? Is that true?
Oh yeah, he was my first he was like the first big chef that I ever worked for. I did my externship at from the CIA. I did that at Park Avenue Cafe.
Nice.
And then I wound up working the line during my externship, which usually doesn't happen. Usually you're just like peeling potato, vegetable cutting duty. But someone went down one night, and one of the sous chefs was like, "Do you know how to line cook?" And I was like, "Yeah," and I absolutely did not. So he was just like, I was like, "Yeah, sure, I know what I'm doing," and then he was basically like, "Follow my lead. We'll work hot apps together." And then I just like jumped on the line and I kind of just picked it up.
Yeah.
So I was, yeah, by the time I left that externship, I was working the line, and then I worked some weekends there after the externship too.
What was he like? How was David?
He was not there.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's, that's not me talking shit. He was
No,
just
that's
like,
just the
that's just
restaurant.
how it is. If you have a bunch of restaurants, and you have people that you pay that are, there in place to run run your restaurant, like you just need to check in.
Yeah.
You don't need to be there day to day. So yeah, he was not there all the time, but I do remember he filmed like a cooking segment with like, I think it was like Heidi Klum or some model, and they were on my station, and I thought it was so cool. I was like, oh my god. I have since met him, or had gotten to know him. We did a Jersey food crawl,
Very
because I
cool.
guess he lives in Jersey, and so we did that to
Yep. We lost Leah. There she is. Okay, you're back. You had disappeared for a second there.
and I was like, yeah, I'm sure, huh?
You had disappeared for a second, but you're back.
Oh, someone was calling me.
Okay.
I had to block
Rude.
them.
Just kidding. Yeah.
And yeah, so he's super sweet. He's a really nice guy.
Oh, he's amazing.
But I didn't get to know him. So I pounded the chilies, the garlic, palm sugar, and fish sauce, and then I added the lime juice. And then I'm just gonna grab a glove because I don't want the chilies to get all over my hand, especially with like a baby.
Yeah.
Even though he's sleeping right now. And I'm just gonna like massage all of this, and then kind of add everything. And when you make this at home, you just wanna let this like sit and marinate for like probably 10 minutes, just so everything can like meld together. And
Yeah.
yeah. But I love papaya salad. It's honestly one of my favorite things to eat. It's so light and refreshing, and like I think it's healthy. And yeah.
And you had an experience, you did Top Chef, and you met. I mean, your cast of Top Chef is money. I mean, Carla Hall, Ariane.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you have like maybe one of the better casts.
We have the best cast.
I was gonna say it.
No, there were some good ones too. Like which one? Kevin Gillespie's cast.
Yes.
That was really good. There have been some good casts, but I think
no,
honestly, I don't.
Your whole cast all kind of came out and kicked ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Carla is literally like just took off, which is
legend.
She's so sweet. I love Carla. I love her husband, and Arian is amazing. But yeah, we've had a lot of like breakout stars.
Totally,
like
including yourself. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't consider myself a breakout star, but sure,
yeah.
Thanks.
But how did you get the call for all that? I mean, that had to be a very exciting time period in your life to get the call that you're going to be on this show. That must have been a cool thing, yeah.
I had no idea what Top Chef was, so I'm gonna.
That's what Ariane said too.
I was working and living in Italy, for the first 2 or 3 seasons of Top Chef. So I had no idea what Top Chef was. I didn't watch it, and then maybe it was like the first 3 seasons. I'm not really sure. And then one of my friends was like, "Hey, would you be interested in trying out for Top Chef?" And I was like, what is that? So I like brushed up and like binge watched like all the seasons that I had missed. And I was like, yeah, sure. I guess I would do that. I mean, mind you, I was like 23 27, 26. Like I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
I was 26 at the time. And I was just like, yeah, I guess I'll try out. And literally I sent a video that I filmed. I think I was drunk, honestly. I think I was drunk when I did, because they wanted to see like they wanted to see your personality. So like when I was cooking in the kitchen, I was definitely not drunk. I was
No, I
sober.
got it. Yeah.
But I went out and I had like a camcorder. And I went out with my girlfriends and we like just recorded ourselves and we were like drunk. But I guess they like that. And I sent it in. I sent the cassette in, and within, I want to say like 3 weeks, I got a call back, and then within like a month and a half, I was filming. So
Yeah.
I think I was one of the last cast members I was one of the last people they casted.
You just kind of like ran into it without any idea of what it was. It's almost, and in a
I
way,
had no idea.
back then it was almost a little bit like real world Big Brother. It wasn't, and with cooking, so it
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily what it kind of turned into be,
Right.
But so it's unfortunate that it played out that way. But I mean, it was cool, and your food was nonstop, and it was always doing really well. I think you did something very cool with like Foo Fighters, if I remember your season correctly.
Yeah, I remember the Foo Fighters. That was really cool. Honestly, I have the worst memory, like literally the worst memory. And that was like almost 10, I think it was like 10 years ago. So yeah. But we met some cool people. Foo Fighters was definitely on there.
Yeah, it was a great season. Yeah.
It was a really good season. It was just crazy to me that like that was so long ago.
I know, right? It feels probably,
Yeah.
does it feel recent or no, or not really?
No, it feels like a lifetime ago. I mean, especially with quarantine, like 3 months ago seems like it was 10 years ago. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
So what are you doing right now with the recipe?
Oh, I'm just frying the chicken for a second time. So I like to par fry my chicken. So it kind of cooks it like all the way, pretty much all the way through, and then I cook it again to get it really nice and crispy. I do that with all my chicken wings, fried chicken. Yeah.
Yeah,
These ones are bone out because I just didn't want to deal with the bone. But usually I like fried chicken with the bone in. I think it's a little juicier. But listen, I can't be picky with what the proteins that I get during quarantine. So
yeah, right, exactly.
yeah.
Have you gone to a store, or are you doing a lot of like Amazon into the house kind of a thing? Or
So the problem with cooking Southeast Asian food, or I mean, not that that's all I cook, because I've been cooking a lot of Italian food also.
nice.
Getting ingredients is not something that is on Instacart.
Yeah.
So that's been a little challenging. So I actually went to the supermarket for the first time last week. And it was an Asian supermarket. It's called 99 Ranch. I'm not sure if you know of it,
Yep.
in Jersey City. It's
Yep.
amazing. They were out of a lot of things, but they had a lot of things as well. But, for someone like me who's trying to find, like, I ran out of fish sauce and I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my God. And I tried to find it on Amazon, and it was just like a nightmare. And it was overpriced. And I'm like, I know that I can get this for like a third of the price if I just went to 99 Ranch.
Right.
But I wanted to wait. Basically, after I tested positive, I asked them, I'm like, okay, so like, what do I do now? Like, how long do I have to, even though I have zero symptoms, like, how long do I have to stay away from people, essentially, even though I've been staying away from people this entire time, except for my family.
Right. I prefer to stay away from people
too.
too, by the way, just in general. Yeah.
I mean,
show me that again. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Woohoo.
Wow, that looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so they said basically like a week after you get tested, you have to like self quarantine for a week, and then from the test date. So, and then after that, practice social distancing, and like if you go out, wear a mask and blah 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 blah. So it took 4 days for me to get my results, or 5 days. So, I mean, I had 3 more days after I got my results, but like I also don't trust that. Like,
Right.
how do you know that you only, like, it had been 2 weeks since I got my taste back and I still was testing positive. So
Yeah.
like I mean, they just don't know. People don't
There's
know.
not
It's
enough
too new.
information about it
There's
yet.
not,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just too new. I'm gonna get some salt and just like lightly salt the fried chicken. So, I mean, I made sure that, the 7 days were up. I wore a mask the entire time. I wore gloves. I tried to stay away from people. There was a huge line. I had to wait
Yeah.
probably like 30 minutes outside just to get into the supermarket, which is great. I mean, I prefer that, they're not letting everyone come in all at once and that you have to
Right.
distance
Tell
because I
me
think
about
that's smart.
when you opened Pig and Cow. Like, I think you
Hmm.
told me once that you went back to Asia, right? And did like a tour or a trip, and you kind of got reconnected with your roots and all that stuff. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me.
Yeah. So after Top Chef, I went back to Centro Vinoteca was where I was the sous chef at the time. Then I came back and I took over for Anne Burrell. She was the executive chef, but her TV career was like just taking off.
Yeah.
So she left Centro to pursue her TV career, and probably the best decision she ever made because she's
Yeah. I mean, she's super.
killing it.
Yeah. Totally.
She's killing it, and she doesn't own a restaurant right now during this pandemic.
Yeah.
And so I took over, and I was the head chef there for a year. And after that, I decided I didn't want to cook Italian food anymore. I wanted to kind of like figure out like my voice in food. And so I packed a suitcase and I moved to Southeast Asia. I set up one stage in Hong Kong,
Mhm.
which is not Southeast Asia. But so I set that up and I was there for 2 months. And then I went to Thailand. And then I was originally I just wanted to learn Thai food.
Yeah.
And then my mom is from the Philippines. And so basically, let's backtrack. You're only allowed to stay in the country for 3 months, and then your visa expires.
Right.
So I would go on these like visa runs, basically like go to Vietnam for a couple of days, but then I realized that like, oh my God, Vietnam's amazing. I'm gonna stay there for 30 days and then come back to Thailand. So Thailand was always my home base. And then I spent the most time there. I had an apartment there and all that stuff that a friend just kind of let me. It was free, like it was amazing. I didn't have to pay for that, and so, but I would always come back to Thailand. But my mom, who's Filipino, was like, "You can't you can't cook Thai food. Like that doesn't make sense. So
Right.
if you're gonna do food, like do Southeast Asian food and incorporate your Filipino roots." And right when we got back was when Filipino food was kind of having a moment.
Yeah.
And I decided like my mom's right. Obviously, she's always right.
Right.
And I just was exposed and experienced so many different cultures out there. Why don't I, not focus on one country, but focus on Southeast Asian cuisine?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how Pig and Cow got started. And I spent a year abroad. And then I spent a year once I got back doing pop ups, trying to find a location and finding partners and all that stuff, trying to open a restaurant. So I was catering at the same time while I was trying to do all that.
Yeah. All right. And you got to do some cool things. I got a picture here for you. Tell me about doing something like this. Judging,
Oh,
right?
on
Judging beef
BBF. Yeah.
Yeah. How fun is
I
that?
mean, Bobby is amazing. He has been like a mentor to me. I never worked for him, but somehow over the years became friendly with him, and then became friends with him. And he is like literally my guy who, anytime I have or need advice about a book, about doing TV stuff, about my restaurants, about anything industry related or non-industry related, he's who I go to because he is like the guy. I mean,
Yeah.
and once he like brings you in, then you're a family. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I had Claire
and
Robinson on last week, and she was just
yeah,
speaking about what an amazing teacher he is, even if it's not necessarily cooking, well, it is cooking for sometimes, but even just in like life and work
in life,
relationships.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's just he he wants people to succeed. He wants to help people. He is very giving with like his knowledge. And he's just a really great guy. I have literally nothing but great things to say. I mean, I have a cookbook coming out in September, and he is the reason why I have a cookbook coming out. He introduced me to a book agent. His I don't want to call her assistant. This girl who basically worked with him for 20 years, who helped co-author his cookbooks.
Yes.
She's my co-author. Without him, and like I wouldn't have this cookbook coming out. So he's just amazing.
It's an amazing cookbook too. Tell me about that cookbook.
So it's called Lemongrass and Lime. It comes out on not sure the date.
I have a little surprise for you. Okay.
Okay.
Somebody joined us here to say hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I don't know. I'm not sure if you can recognize me with my golf gear on.
With your hat on.
But it's Elizabeth Faulkner.
I just played some golf with my dad. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you? It seems bright out, so you're definitely not in New York.
I know. I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh, nice. Quarantining in LA.
Yeah.
Nice.
How are you?
Nice.
What's going on there?
Well, we are making some papaya salad and some Thai fried chicken. And
Ooh.
Ben is upstairs waiting for this to be over so he can eat dinner. Yeah, and the baby's sleeping, so things are good, I guess.
Elizabeth, tell me.
I know. Is it weird taking extra time off?
I mean, I was just
obviously it's not
Peter,
your time off, but you know what I mean.
If I didn't take time off during my pregnancy, this would be completely bizarre to me. But I took 4 months off, like the last 2 months of my pregnancy and the first 2 months of my pregnancy. So it's kind of like I'm okay with it. Not like working constantly, but it's still weird. But if I didn't have that time off, I would be like pulling my hair out.
Yeah. So in a way, you kind of got a little used to it.
Yeah.
I think that's good because some people, I think it's just so shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's time that I get to spend with my child that I wouldn't have been able to. So I'm happy that at least I get to be with my baby now because he's so cute and he's just like doing things. You know what I mean? Before he was just like a baby and he lie there, and like now he's like touching things and like kind of scooting, not really crawling, and he has some teeth coming in. So it's nice to like not miss those things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, tell me what I'm
so
sure.
What else have you been cooking? That's what I want to know.
I've been doing a lot of Italian food, actually. I was telling Peter. Ben loves pasta, so we've been doing that. And I made bonsai yesterday. I did a recipe for my cookbook. And I've been cooking a lot from Adina's book as well.
Oh, really?
I think I saw you at her book party, right? Was that?
I think I was there. Yeah.
I think you were there. That was
when was that? I don't even remember.
Oh no. I went to two. No, sorry. It was a Knott's cookbook. Cookbook party. Yeah. I'm like, they're both Israeli cookbooks. Yes, I saw you at a Knott's cookbook, but
I was definitely there.
Yes, I think that was the last time we saw each other in person. But yeah, I've been cooking a lot of Adina's food. I had to like accumulate all the ingredients and source all the ingredients because I just didn't have that in my pantry before. But I'm like obsessed with Israeli food.
so good.
Elizabeth, I'm sure you're familiar.
I know that's kind of one of the things that's so weird. I think when you're used to living in New York and you can just kind of go pick so many different kinds of food to eat all the time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, same here in LA. It just can kind of, it's like now it's all on you. You just have to make everything that you're craving and use all your stuff and
and source all the ingredients, which is like, I mean, thank God for Amazon.
Hey, Elizabeth,
I want to show you something cool though that I know that you will totally appreciate. When I went to Thailand last year for the first time, and I came back and got there was no macroot lime trees or lime leaves in any market where my mom lives here, so I went and bought this little tree.
Oh my God, that's amazing!
I know, and
cool.
It already there's a little. Can you see the little fruit?
Oh my God, yes, that's amazing. I'm so jealous.
But the leaves and it's just blossoming like crazy, and I know. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I just went to the grocery store, my Asian grocery store last week, and they were out of lime leaves. And I was like, oh my God, I have to go back, but I really don't want to, but I need lime leaves.
I could just mail you some.
No, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back probably next week.
Hey, Elizabeth, can you hear me? You can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? I know you're probably familiar with
Wait, are you talking, Peter?
Yeah, can you hear me or no?
Can you hear Peter?
Peter, I don't think she can hear you.
I don't think you
This happened last week.
I know the
or
other
2 weeks
person
ago.
can't hear me. Okay, so you'll have to ask her.
I'll ask her.
Yeah, what is her favorite thing about your cooking?
I can't hear him.
Oh, he wants me to ask you, what is your favorite thing about my cooking?
About your cooking? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I would say that your cooking is like, it's just so flavorful and it's like explosive in the best way. It's for me, it's like it like the best way to talk about it would be like it's like fireworks. It's got so many textures and like little bursts or pockets of flavor. I love everything I've ever had that you made. It's just like, oh my God, so tasty. It's just brighter than it's just the brightest of all those kind of dishes, and the spice and all that stuff is so good.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's what Southeast Asian cooking is all about.
So
awesome. I miss those flavors a lot, actually. Where my mom lives here in Southern California is not anywhere near any. There's like one market that's an Indian market over, I don't know, it's about 3 miles away. It's not that bad, but that's kind of like there. And then there's Mexican markets, but otherwise there's not that much diversity.
Yeah,
So
I miss me some good Mexican food right now.
Right?
We're gonna say goodbye to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Leah.
How come I can't hear Peter? I see his mouth.
I don't know. This happened last time. He said he said thank you, and we're
okay.
And bye. Thank you.
It's nice to see you.
I'll see you later. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know why when the third person comes in. It's sometimes that happens. But anyway,
cool.
So how are we on the recipe? Are we all rocked here? Or?
Oh yeah, I think we're done. I'm gonna I just want to taste the dressing and make sure we're good, and then needs some fish sauce.
That was a nice little surprise, Elizabeth Faulkner, right?
Yeah, I was like, I know someone's going to surprise me because I surprised Arian.
Right. Well, it was initially going to be Arian. I was going to just return it, but didn't do it. But yeah.
Okay, can you see the papaya salad? Okay, so we have the papaya salad, and then I have rice cooking that I'm going to go get. Ugh.
Very cool.
So I have a rice cooker, obviously. I cannot live without a rice cooker. So I actually mixed sticky rice and jasmine rice half and half. I don't know why I did that, but I don't know. I just decided to do that.
Right.
Because I actually had never cooked sticky rice in a rice cooker before. So I was like, let's just do half and half. I'm going to get a plate. My husband is like so excited for this.
Yeah, I bet.
He's like anticipating, waiting upstairs for it.
So as you plate, I'm going to just, I'm all about gratitude these days. I want to tell you, listen, I think you are I would say you are my favorite chef in
oh, stop.
In New York City. I've been going to your restaurants for a long time, and I first came there with The Men Who Dine, and you just sent so much great stuff to us. I don't know if you remember.
I love them. Yes.
Yeah. That was some time ago. But yeah, I'm just such a fan, Leah, of all the stuff that you're doing and all the restaurants and all the food. It's just definitely some of my favorite profile stuff. And I'm just so appreciative to you for coming on this thing and cooking with everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that is very sweet for you to say. I know that you know a lot of chefs, so
Yeah.
I
Always keep
so
coming back
thank
to your
you.
places, though. I mean that too. Whenever I'm in Los Angeles now too, and so whenever
Oh, okay.
you're on the top spots of where I'm going back to. And I know we both love Hillary Sterling's restaurant too. So I want to.
Oh my God, she's amazing. I did my wedding there. I had my wedding party
Oh, did
there.
you really? Yeah. So wait.
Yeah.
Also, before you leave, I got one more picture.
Oh, here, let me just show you.
Tell me about this guy.
Oh, that's the hubby. He's waiting upstairs. See, this is
All right,
it.
who you got?
Can
Yeah.
you see?
Oh, that looks absolutely amazing. Yeah.
So Ben is my husband. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna take the chicken off because it actually has the papaya salad dressing on there that it's gonna make it not crispy. My husband Ben, we met at Pig and Cow. He was one of my first sous chefs there. So scandalous. I was dating the help. But it turned. I mean, it worked out. We got
Totally.
married in. I think this will be 4 years. I don't know. I think it's 4 years that we will be married in July. And so we did our, walking down the aisle and everything. We actually got married in the Philippines. But prior to that, we had a party where we actually had like a rabbi and did the whole marriage certificate thing. We did it at Vic's.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. What an
Yeah.
amazing restaurant.
And
Hillary
we
did.
had Hillary did the food. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
We had DJ Fat Fingers spin. He is one of the DJs on Hot 97. And he does a lot of our parties and he's a great guy. And then I mean it was just a party. Like we just drank our faces off and ate, and it was
nice.
like Hillary just like killed it too. Like I mean her food is amazing, and I mean I think I've probably been to her restaurant more than anyone, like
Same.
repeatedly. Like
Yes,
I
yeah,
just keep
yeah.
going back.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's between the two of you. Yeah.
Hillary's great. I mean,
Yeah.
I love Hillary.
Yeah.
Always, never a bad meal at her restaurant.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thanks
Yeah.
for doing this and spending some time, and give my love to Ben and everybody too. So it was great having you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'll see you when this is all over.
Absolutely. All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
Leah. All right.
You're welcome. Bye.